All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Lalema Aneja Dang, and with me is Sarabjit Kaur. The headlines. Domestic flights resume operations today except in Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal. Government decides to restart regional air connectivity services under UDAN scheme. Health Ministry's guidelines allow only asymptomatic passengers to travel. Home Ministry issues standard operating procedure for movement of Indian nationals stranded abroad. Eid ul-Fitr is being celebrated today, and Sports Authority of India gives 30,000 rupees each to more than 2,700 Khelo India athletes. Domestic flights in the country will resume operations today except in Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that the flight operations from Vijayawada and Vizag airports in Andhra Pradesh will begin tomorrow, while those in West Bengal will recommence from Thursday on a limited scale. In Chennai, there will be a maximum of 25 arrivals, but there is no limit on the number of departures. For other airports in Tamil Nadu, flights will operate as in other parts of the country, Mr. Puri tweeted. The minister also said that there will be limited flight operations from Mumbai in Maharashtra. Flight operations had been shut in the country 2 months ago owing to the nationwide lockdown necessitated by the coronavirus pandemic. Speaking exclusively to AIR News, Chairman of the Airport Authority of India, Arvind Singh, said that the airports in the country are fully prepared for the flight operations. He informed that all arrangements have been made at the airports to ensure contactless boarding to prevent any chances of contagion. Mr. Singh said commercial passenger flights at the Delhi airport will initially operate from Terminal 3.
We are fully prepared to take care of the passengers' concerns about disease, their apprehensions about the same. We will ensure that the travel will be done in a very safe and hygienic manner. At Delhi airport, only Terminal T3 is being used. So it will be a very smooth and state-of-the-art facilities when the passengers will see at Delhi airport, which will help them. And this will all be done in one Terminal T3.
According to standard operating procedure issued by Airport Authority of India, passengers should reach airport 2 hours before the scheduled time of departure, and only passengers who have departure in the next 4 hours will be allowed to enter the terminal building. Here's more from our correspondent.
Passengers will have to wear protective gear such as gloves and masks while entering the airport. All passengers except children below 14 years must be registered on the Arogya Setu app, and it will be verified at the entry gate of the terminal building. Passengers shall compulsorily walk through screening zone for thermal screening before entering the terminal building. Airport operators have been asked to make arrangements for sanitization of passengers' baggage before entry into the terminal building. Only one check-in and one hand baggage is allowed, and use of trolley is restricted. Elderly, pregnant ladies and kids have been advised to avoid air travel for now. With Suparna Saikia, Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
Mumbai International Airport Limited will resume commercial passenger services on domestic routes from today with 25 departures and arrivals each. Here's more from a correspondent.
Maharashtra government has agreed to allow 25 takeoffs and 25 landings every day for domestic flights from Mumbai. According to state government directive, arriving passengers will be temperature screened by the state government appointed authorities and are expected to be in home quarantine for 14 days. State Minister Nawab Malik stated that this number of flights will be increased gradually as state will issue details and guidelines in this regard soon. Meanwhile, according to Mumbai International Airport Limited communique, as many as 50 departures and arrivals are expected on day 1, and all flights will be operational from Terminal 2. Nivedita, AIR News, Mumbai.
Civil Aviation Ministry has decided to restart the regional air connectivity services under the UDAN scheme. Civil Aviation Minister Hardeep Singh Puri said that preference will however be given to flights connecting Northeast region, hill states, islands and other short-haul routes. In a tweet, he said that the flights will be augmented under the scheme in a calibrated manner. Civil Aviation Ministry has said that all operational routes up to 500 km stage length, all operational helicopter routes and routes with no viability gap funding will be permitted to resume operations. Selected airline operators will also be allowed to operationalize the awarded routes under the UDAN scheme, including seaplanes on the permitted routes. With domestic civil aviation starting today, the Health Ministry has issued guidelines for domestic travel. It has been advised to the passengers to download the Arogya Setu app on their mobile devices and asking states to ensure thermal screening at departure point of airports, railway stations and bus terminals. Asymptomatic passengers should be permitted to travel after being asked to self-monitor for 14 days. Do's and don'ts shall be provided along with the tickets to travellers by agencies concerned. A report.
In its guidelines for domestic travel, the Health Ministry said suitable announcement about COVID-19, including precautionary measures to be followed, shall be made at airports, railway stations and bus terminals, as well as in flights, trains and buses. The states and union territories shall ensure that all passengers undergo thermal screening at the point of departure and only asymptomatic passengers are allowed to board the flight, train or bus. During boarding and travel, all passengers shall use face covers or masks and will also follow hand hygiene, respiratory hygiene and maintain environmental hygiene. At airports, railway stations and bus terminals, required measures to ensure social distancing shall be taken and these places should be regularly sanitized or disinfected and the availability of soaps and sanitizers should be ensured. Thermal screening at exit point must be arranged and asymptomatic passengers will be permitted to go with the advice that they shall self-monitor their health for 14 days. In case they develop any symptoms, they shall inform the District Surveillance Officer or the State and National Call Center 1075. With Dipendra, Suparna Saikya, AIR News, Delhi.
The people who are symptomatic will be isolated and taken to the nearest health facility and will be assessed for clinical severity at the health facility. Those having moderate or severe symptoms will be admitted to dedicated COVID health facilities and managed accordingly. The ministry said that states can also develop their own protocol with regards to quarantine and isolation as per their assessment.
Home Ministry has issued Standard Operating Procedures SOP for the movement of Indian nationals stranded abroad and for those stranded in India desirous to travel abroad. For movement of Indian nationals stranded abroad, the Home Ministry said the stranded persons have to register with Indian missions. They will travel to India by non-scheduled commercial flights allowed by the Ministry of Civil Aviation or ships allowed by the Department of Military Affairs or Ministry of Shipping. Priority will be given to compelling cases, including migrant workers, short-term visa holders, pregnant women and elderly. The cost of travel specified by the carrier will be borne by such travellers. Ministry of External Affairs will prepare flight or ship-wise database of travellers. For those stranded in India desirous to travel abroad, Home Ministry said such persons have to apply to Ministry of Civil Aviation or to any agency designated by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. Under the second phase of the Vande Bharat mission, approximately 140 flights to different destinations from the Gulf countries have been added to fly back more than 23,000 stranded and distressed Indians abroad. More destinations may be added in due course in coordination with the state governments. This phase of Vande Bharat mission will start from the 26th of May to the 8th of June 2020. Maximum number of flights are scheduled from the UAE. As in the earlier phase, those with compelling reasons will be given priority in sending back. Distressed workers, stranded tourists, pregnant women, stranded students, elderly and cases of medical emergency are being given preference. From the UAE, approximately 6,000 Indians were repatriated under the Vande Bharat mission during the last more than 2 weeks. Meanwhile, Indian consulate in Dubai has taken out a public notice to alert its citizens against fraudulent agents collecting money in the name of chartered flights from United Arab Emirates, UAE, to India.
A special Air India flight carrying 146 stranded Indian nationals arrived at Gaya International Airport this morning from Qatar under Vande Bharat mission. Out of 146 passengers, 142 are from Bihar and 4 from Jharkhand. Passengers were sent to 14-day quarantine. State government has arranged hotel for passengers. Digital India program of the government has earned laurels for the country. The digital infrastructure developed by the country has been highly praised by League of Developed Nations, which helped easy and quick transfer of cash benefits to those who needed it most in the emerging situation of COVID-19 pandemic. In another very encouraging endorsement of the success of Digital India program, Secretary General of the Commonwealth, Patricia Scotland, has expressed her appreciation for the initiative. She called the initiative as a new hope for other developing and aspiring countries of the Commonwealth. She added that India is developing these things at a large scale and at a cost which makes digital inclusion possible to a large extent. You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Domestic flights resume operations today except in Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal. Government decides to restart regional air connectivity services under Udan scheme. Health Ministry's guidelines allow only asymptomatic passengers to travel. Home Ministry issues standard operating procedure for movement of Indian nationals stranded abroad. Eid ul-Fitr is being celebrated today, and Sports Authority of India gives 30,000 rupees each to more than 2,700 Khelo India athletes. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
Health Ministry has said that government has taken several steps along with the states and union territories for prevention, containment and management of COVID-19. The ministry said these are being regularly reviewed and monitored at the highest level. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan visited Chaudhry Brahma Prakash Ayurved Charak Sansthan, Delhi, which is functioning as a dedicated COVID health center to oversee the preparedness to manage COVID-19 cases. The ministry has said that a total of 54,440 affected people have been cured so far. In the last 24 hours, 2,657 affected people were found cured. The total recovery rate is 41.28%. The ministry said the total number of confirmed cases is now over 1,31,000. Government has said that adequate healthcare infrastructure and facilities have been set up across the country for COVID-19 management. These have been divided into 3 categories: dedicated COVID hospitals, dedicated COVID health centers, and COVID care centers with adequate number of isolation beds, ICU beds and other facilities. Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan said a total of 968 dedicated COVID hospitals have been identified across the country with over 250,000 beds.
डेडिकेटेड अस्पताल 2.5 लाख के करीब बेड्स हैं आइसोलेशन प्लस आईसीयू के। लगभग 2065 हमने कोविड के एक्सक्लूसिवली डेडिकेटेड जो है हेल्थ सेंटर्स देश में क्रिएट किए। इनमें भी लगभग हमारे 1,77,000 जो है बेड्स इन अस्पतालों के अंदर जो है हमारे लिए मरीजों का इंतजाम है। फिर हमने कोविड केयर सेंटर्स जो कि मामूली जो सिम्टम्स वाले पेशेंट्स हैं उनके लिए ऐसे भी लगभग देश में 7,063 हमने कोविड केयर सेंटर्स को विकसित किया, जिसमें करीब 6.5 लाख बेड्स की व्यवस्था की।
Speaking about the protective equipment, Dr. Harshvardhan said the country is now making sufficient number of N95 masks and PPEs through the ramped-up domestic manufacturing sector. He further informed that states and union territories as well as central institutions have been provided with around over 1,95 masks and around 72 lakh personal protective equipment.
Railways has run more than 2,813 Shramik special trains carrying over 37 lakh passengers till date. Nearly 60% trains originated from Gujarat, Maharashtra and Punjab and are largely destined for Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Railways has started running Shramik special trains since 1st of this month to facilitate migrant workers, pilgrims, tourists, students and other persons stranded at different places due to lockdown. In our series Expert Speak on All India Radio, we bring you the views of the leading medical experts on COVID-19. Talking to AIR News, Director AIMS Dr. Randeep Guleria advised the people to aggressively follow the social distancing and hand hygiene norms to check the spread of COVID-19 infection.
जैसे जैसे अब ऑफिस खुल रहे हैं, लोग वापस आ रहे हैं, एक तो ऑफिस में सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग, ऑफिस में भी अगर आप बैठी हैं तो कम स्टाफ रखो, उनकी दूरी जो है कम से कम 6 फीट या 2 मीटर की दूरी में बैठे, वो आपस में खाना इकट्ठा ना खाएं, चाय पीने के टाइम में इकट्ठे बैठ के चाय पीते हैं। जैसे ऑफिस में अंदर आए या ऑफिस के बाहर जाएं तो अपने सैनिटाइजर से हाथ साफ रखें। कई ऑफिसेज ये भी कर रहे हैं जो अच्छी है कि एक ही जगह से लोग अंदर आएं और एक दूसरी जगह से बाहर जाएं, जिससे मिक्सिंग ना हो, वन वे आना जाना हो, दरवाजों पे या रास्ते में भी सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग बनी रहे।
Talking to AIR News, Dr. Naresh Gupta of LNJP Hospital, Delhi, said that in most of the cases, the COVID-19 infections are self-limiting and very few patients are required to be admitted in hospital.
अगर इंसान को एक्सपोजर है उस इंसान के साथ जिसको कि कोरोना वायरस देखा या भुगता है, तो उसका कोरोना वायरस होने का चांस है। कॉमन कोल्ड और कोरोना वायरस इन्फेक्शन दोनों की दोनों आम तौर से अपने आप ही सेटल कर जाते हैं। 80% में तो ऐसी भी तकलीफ नहीं करते हैं या इतनी हल्की करते हैं कि लोग घर पर ही ठीक हो जाते हैं। 10-15% में उनको अस्पताल जाके कुछ दवाई दी जाती है और वो सेटल हो जाते हैं। 5% या उससे कम वाले हैं जो कि दाखिल होना पड़ता है। तो फर्क आप नहीं कर पाएंगे, सेटल आप हो जाएंगे।
The News Services Division of All India Radio, in its bilingual live phone-in program today, will bring you a special discussion program on COVID-19. Listeners can ask questions to the experts on toll-free telephone number 1-800-115767. You can also ask questions on telephone number 011-2331-4444 and post queries on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts by hashtag AskAIR. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:25 p.m. onwards. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel News on AIR Official. You can also follow us on the News on AIR app for updates.
Eid ul-Fitr is being celebrated across the country today. The festival heralding the end of the fasting month of Ramadan was celebrated in Jammu and Kashmir and Kerala yesterday. President, Vice President and Prime Minister have greeted the people on the occasion of Eid ul-Fitr. In his message, President Ramnath Kovind said the festival is an expression of love, peace, brotherhood and harmony. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu in his message said the festival fortifies the spirit of compassion, charity and generosity in the society, and it is an occasion for families and communities to come together. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hoped this special occasion furthers the spirit of compassion, brotherhood and harmony. He wished for everyone to be healthy and prosperous. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has greeted the nation on the occasion of Eid ul-Fitr. In his message, Mr. Javadekar hoped it furthers the spirit of peace and brotherhood in the society. Shahi Imam of Delhi Jama Masjid Sayyid Ahmad Bukhari has appealed to people not to come to mosques to offer prayers and offer namaz at home in view of the pandemic. The Shahi Imam has urged people to take precautions and maintain social distancing while celebrating the auspicious festival. He said that people should refrain from shaking hands and hugging each other. Several other ulemas from all the sects have already appealed to the Muslims to offer prayers at home only. This is perhaps the first time when there will be no mass namaz at mosques and eidgahs across the country, as all kinds of religious gatherings have been prohibited to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Our Lucknow correspondent has filed this report.
This Eid has come with so many restrictions for the first time in the life of people of the state. People miss the usual shopping during the Chand Raat, and children are missing the enjoyment with friends and of course the Eidi which they get from relatives who come to their homes on this day. Yesterday also people celebrated the sighting of moon by burning crackers on the rooftops and congratulating each other on phone while maintaining the social distancing. In Lucknow, markets were a desert deserted look as senior Muslim clerics appealed people to stay indoors and ensure social distancing. The top clerics have asked people to use social media to greet each other on Eid and perform prayer at their homes. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Madhya Pradesh, people are celebrating Eid ul-Fitr with simplicity and harmony in their homes. No mass prayer was organized at the historic Eidgah. Here's more from our correspondent.
The Muslim community in Madhya Pradesh has decided to donate the money spent on clothes and other preparations on Eid this time to help the poor and needy people. Probably for the first time, the historic Eidgah, Tajul Masajid, Moti Masjid, Jama Masjid and Iqbal Maidan also looked calm and empty due to absence of namazis. Bhopal Shahar Qazi Mustaq Ali Naqvi has already appealed to the Muslims to offer Eid prayer in their homes. In Jabalpur, Indore, Gwalior, Vidisha and other cities too, Muslims are celebrating Eid in their homes. So far, 6,665 cases of corona infection have been reported in Madhya Pradesh and 290 people have been died due to infection. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
Sports Authority of India (SAI) has deposited 30,000 rupees each as out-of-pocket allowance in the accounts of 2,749 Khelo India athletes. The amount added up to 8.25 crore rupees in all. In a press release, SAI said that the money has been transferred to the bank accounts of the athletes. A total of 2,893 athletes will be given the pocket allowance, with the funds for the remaining 144 athletes to be transferred by the end of this month. The allowance is for the first quarter of 2020-21. Athletes from 35 states and union territories have been given the allowances in 21 sporting disciplines. Reacting to the disbursement of the Khelo India allowances, Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports Kiran Rijiju said that athletes are our priority and will receive full support at all times. The 17 industrial estates in Chennai resume their operations from today. The Tamil Nadu government has permitted them to function with 25% of their usual strength in areas outside containment zones. Following of safety protocols in the industrial units has been made mandatory. Our correspondent reports that the COVID-19 tally in Tamil Nadu has crossed 16,000 mark yesterday. Here's a report.
Though Tamil Nadu ranks second in the total tally of COVID-19 infected cases in India, a positive aspect is that the discharge ratio has improved to 51%. Furthermore, the mortality rate due to the pandemic is contained well within 0.68%. However, officials in the city's civic body say the infection is more pronounced only in 36 of the 200 wards in the city, where the population density is comparatively more dense. To give a sharp focus in containment efforts, about 2,500 volunteers have been deployed in the 2,000 hutments to constantly monitor the health status of vulnerable people and to ensure that the public follow the safety measures like wearing masks and social distancing. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
Himachal Pradesh government has said it has no plans to seal the state borders and the movement of the stranded people would continue. A news item is being circulated in the social media claiming that borders of Himachal Pradesh would be sealed from 31st May 2020 and the people coming from other parts of the country would be kept in institutional quarantine at borders. An official spokesman said that there will be no sealing of borders of the state and movement of people would continue, but passes will be required as per current practice for all interstate movement of persons and vehicles.
Punjab Health Department has issued detailed advisory for maintaining of hygiene and sanitation of barber shops, haircut saloons during the COVID-19 pandemic. Giving details in Chandigarh yesterday, an official spokesperson said all guidelines related to prevention of COVID-19 like frequent hand washing with soap and water or alcohol-based hand sanitizer, maintaining a physical distance of 1 meter, following respiratory hygiene, keeping a watch over disease symptoms, no spitting in public, etc., must be complied with during the interpersonal dealing of clients and staff. Scissors, razors, combs and other tools would be wiped after every use. In addition, the shop owners have been advised to encourage the customers to use the digital payment mode. Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has announced an ex gratia of 4 lakh rupees to the next of the kin of those who died due to coronavirus infection in the state. This assistance will be given under Chief Minister Relief Fund. 13 people died of corona in the state so far. The number of positive cases in the state has mounted to 2,574, while 702 people have recovered. 1,859 are undergoing treatment in different hospitals. The Assam government has launched a local educational TV channel, Gyan Briksha. Talking to AIR, Mission Director of Samagra Siksha, B. Kalyan Chakravarti said that the channel will be used for academic as well as competitive skill development of the students. He said that students from class 1 to class 12 will be benefited by this channel. Mr. Chakravarti said that live classes are being conducted by various subjects by experts and teachers. Assam government aims to prepare students for competitive examinations through proper use of digital media.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi may continue to reel under a heat wave today as well. Minimum temperature in the city is expected to be around 28 degrees Celsius and maximum 45 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will witness a partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature in the city will be 27 degrees Celsius and maximum will be around 37 degrees Celsius. In the south, Chennai will see a partly cloudy sky. The temperatures will hover between 30 and 40 degrees Celsius. Kolkata may also witness partly cloudy sky. Minimum temperature in the metropolis will be 29 degrees Celsius while maximum 35. On to the north, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature will be 26 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while maximum will be around 43. The city will observe mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards evening or night. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature will be 12 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 27 degrees, and the city will observe partly cloudy sky. In Gilgit, the temperature will hover between 17 and 33 degrees Celsius with generally cloudy sky. In Muzaffarabad, there will be a mainly clear sky. The minimum temperatures may be around 20 degrees Celsius, while maximum would be around 28 degrees Celsius.
Union Minister Jitendra Singh has said that a serious miscarriage of history has been undone after 70 years with the notification of the new domicile rules by Jammu and Kashmir administration. People belonging to West Pakistan, Valmikis, women marrying outside communities, non-registered Kashmiri migrants and displaced people will soon get domicile under a new set of rules issued by the Jammu and Kashmir administration. In an interview to a TV channel, Dr. Jitendra Singh noted that 3 generations of people of Jammu and Kashmir had been denied their right to live with justice and dignity, and it was heartening to see this redemption happening in this lifetime. He said this notification of new rules will prove to be a blessing for future generations. Dr. Singh said those who are opposing this move are only exposing themselves to the accusation that for the last 70 years they had been thriving on politics of discrimination.
India has welcomed the understanding reached for a ceasefire in Afghanistan for 3 days during the Eid. External Affairs Ministry said that New Delhi hopes that this ceasefire would extend further and become permanent to address the dire humanitarian situation resulting from the coronavirus pandemic.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. States finally clear for anxious flyers is the Hindustan Times headline. Passengers will have to wade through labyrinth of state-specific rules. Quarantine norms differ across states. Kerala and Karnataka impose tight rules is a Hindu headline. After Prime Minister Modi's call on March 12 to be vocal about local brands are now racing up to advertise their products about Indian roots. That's a story in the Indian Express. The pioneer reports of the killing of yet another sadhu, founder of Nirvanji Pashupatinath Mutt in Mumbai, being killed. The accused has been arrested, says the story. Delhi sizzles at 45 degrees Celsius. IMD issues red alert, says the Asian Age. What's in a name? Gender equality. Well, the Times of India reports of a Ludhiana contractor who has renamed his store as Gupta and Daughters and is written on the board outside his shop.
And now before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Domestic flights resume operations today except in Andhra Pradesh and West Bengal. Government decides to restart regional air connectivity services under Udan scheme. Health Ministry's guidelines allow only asymptomatic passengers to travel. Home Ministry issues standard operating procedure for the movement of Indian nationals stranded abroad. Eid-ul-Fitr is being celebrated today, and Sports Authority of India gives 30,000 rupees each to more than 2,700 Khelo India athletes. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.